I'd like to start with you first, Ms O'Neill. In your submission on page 10, you set out that you would like some amendments to the bill, which includes, in your words, that an employee organisation capable of representing the industrial interests of a person employed or engaged by such a recipient, end quote. That's part of a proposed drafting amendment you are wanting to make to this bill. Can you just explain a little bit about your view about the role of unions here in being compulsory participants in the taxpayer-funded projects here? I'm just interested in understanding why exactly you think that that should be a mandatory obligation.
Thanks, Senator. So we're saying that when you have community benefit principles, whichever of those we're referring to, and obviously we've got a particular interest in labour standards, but it's true also of the broader community benefit principles, things like the opportunity for First Nations communities, that to have them as meaningful, you need to ensure that there's a way that the people that represent people who are that the bill is wanting to benefit through the community benefit principles have an opportunity to raise concerns. So this is just saying, how do you have a practical way that the representatives of workers, if you want to have one of the principles which we support, that it's good, safe, secure, well-paid jobs, that are able to raise when something goes off the rails. So if it was a concern that perhaps there'd been a commitment made in the granting and the application and granting of support under the bill, and then it turned out that in fact there'd been sort of gross safety breaches or there'd been significant underpayment operating on a site or in a project, that it makes sense to have a mechanism for that to be raised and resolved. And hopefully, in most cases, that'd be resolved through to some discussion and some conciliation.
Okay, so just so I understand for the record, so are you saying, because I read this and it appears to me to be the case that your amendment, if it was adopted by the Parliament, would make union representation a condition of granting of taxpayer funds through this process. So are you saying that you are wanting that to be a condition?
I don't think you heard what I said in answer to your question, Senator, and I'm not sure where you would see that in terms of what we put in our submission. What we're saying is that if you're going to have community benefit principles as meaningful, then you need to ensure that the beneficiaries of that, and we've clearly got in the principles here beneficiaries in terms of workers that are working in these projects, that they're able to raise any issue of concern.
Okay, so you're not saying
that does not prescribe anything like what you just said.
Okay, so you're not saying that there should be a condition that there must be a union involved with the granting of taxpayer funds through these projects?
No, if you can read the recommendation that you referred me to in the submission, Senator, you'll see that it doesn't say that.
Okay, because my reading of it is an intended beneficiary includes, but is not limited to, and then you have clause C, an employee organisation.
Yeah, and it refers to the issue above, which is saying that the rules set requirements on recipients of Future Made in Australia support, and that we want to make sure that there's public information from those people that receive support. They're getting public money, taxpayers' money, as you say. They should give regular information about the performance in meeting the principles, and that the beneficiaries of those principles should be able to seek and secure a remedy where there's a breach of them. So if, using my example again, if a company had said, we're going to do this, we're going to make sure these jobs are safe, we're going to make sure there's fair pay and conditions, then the reality turned out to be something else, then you need to give an opportunity for the representatives of those people to raise that concern.
Okay, so you're saying that there should be consultation. That's what you're saying. It shouldn't be compulsory.
No, I'm saying sorry to cut you off. Pardon?
No, I'm just trying to understand why that would need to be included in the bill. So I'm trying to nail down whether you're saying that should be a compulsory design feature or whether there should be engagement with a union organisation.
Well, I'm not sure what's confusing about what's there in the submission, Senator. It's saying that there should be the opportunity for people who are representing the industrial interests of someone who's working on a project to be able to make sure that they can raise a concern if there's a breach.
So there must be a
breach
union
of the
involved.
principle. I'll just finish. If there's a breach of the principle and that there's some opportunity to have that remedied.
Okay, so you're saying there must be a union involved then?
I don't know how many times to answer your question. I think I've answered
you've
it,
answered.
Senator.
Okay, well, thank you for that.